Ever since the Supreme Court quashed RBI's 12 February 2018 circular for NPA resolution, a new one from the RBI was eagerly awaited. Now, the one released on 7th of June stresses on early recognition of the stressed assets. Let's do a three-point analysis of the new NPA resolution framework and the guidelines. 1. What are the broad contours of the new June 7 circular? Now, the early recognition of stress, complete discretion to the lenders to decide on a resolution plan, but no revival of the earlier failed schemes like SDR and S4A, etc., signing off a binding inter-creditor agreement to finalize and implement the resolution plan, and an accelerated provision if the time-bound resolution fails are some of the key contours of the new circular. Now, as per the new guidelines, all lenders would put in place a resolution plan within 30 days in the event of a default. During this 30-day review period, lenders would decide on resolution strategy, which could include sale of loan, legal action for debt recovery, immediate referral to NCLT, or restructuring or even change in ownership as well. Now, in case of a resolution plan is implemented, the lenders would sign inter-creditor agreement. For most large borrowers, the resolution plan will have to be implemented within 180 days from the end of the 30-day review period. Now, it remains to be seen how the lenders and borrowers are able to follow this procedure in a time-bound manner. 2. Why many cases will still end up in the NCLT? Well, the new guidelines make it significantly stringent for banks to recognize and resolve stress on time. For cases where resolution does not happen within 180 days, an additional provision of 20% will have to be made. If the resolution does not take place within 365 days, a further additional provision of 15% will have to be made. Now, for instance, if there is no resolution of the asset within 1 year from default, it will attract provision of 50%, including the 15% normal aging provision and 35% additional provisions. Now, similarly, at the end of 15 months, that is 5 quarters, the total provisioning requirement jumps to 75%. Such high provision requirement and its impact on the profitability of banks will actually nudge them to refer the cases to NCLT if no resolution is in sight in a time-bound manner. 3. Why referring to NCLT will make sense? Well, the additional provision will get reversed in the event of a complete resolution if it is achieved outside of the IBC process. Now, in case the resolution is pursued under IBC, half of the provision would get reversed on filing of insolvency application and the remaining half on admission of the borrower into the insolvency resolution process under IBC. Now, unless the borrowers pay up, even under the new circular, post-default, a significant number of cases may be headed to the NCLT. As far as the banks are concerned, life doesn't get any rosier. Having said that, most of the private banks are well past the peak of their bad asset cycle and are actually reorienting their businesses backed by adequate capital. Now, for a large number of PSU lenders, while incremental formation of bad assets is on the wane, the market share loss and the lack of capital makes the future uncertain and also challenging.